I've been making some content for these YouTube Shorts, and while I hate almost everything about YouTube's implementation of them, I'm still really excited to try them out, because I think I can use them to deliver something unique. I don't use Instagram or TikTok, but I've seen what people like about that sort of content, and I wonder if I can deliver something similar, but with a click empire-y finish. This new emphasis on Shorts signals a complete U-turn from YouTube. Fearing competition from Facebook, YouTube tried to distance itself from that site by pushing for longer watch time, which punished people who made shorter content, such as myself. My content was, on average, about 3 to 4 minutes long, and YouTube wanted me to make stuff upwards of 10 minutes if I wanted algorithmic exposure and money. So I spent years and years trying to adjust my content to be longer. I've just about figured out how to hit the 8-minute mark, and now YouTube's all like, oops, what we really want from you now is short stuff again. Thanks, YouTube. But in a way, it's good for me because I regularly have ideas that I've had to dismiss because they're not long enough, and they'll punish me if I produce it. So to actually be rewarded for these things is great, even if it does fragment my audience, and forces me to upload multiple versions of the same content. I spoke with somebody from YouTube a few years ago, and they were surprised to see that 50% of my views still came from desktop devices. They were also impressed with my audience retention rates, but I'll brag about that some other time. These days, the mobile phone has finally won, yet desktop viewers still make up a decent percentage of my views. So while Shorts might not be as applicable for me as with most other YouTubers, it still covers more than half of my audience. Let me talk you through my experiments with it so far. The first one I did was the Watch Dogs Legion one, which was just a gameplay segment, which I made to understand the YouTube Shorts feature, and mostly just to see if I could upload gameplay in a 9:16 aspect ratio. Using this ratio lops off huge chunks of the screen. You wouldn't think it's ideal for gameplay, but I think it can still work. You just have to be clever about it. If you think about it, framing a video is a bit like editing a gameplay clip down in the first place. You may be removing a lot of the content, but if you're smart about it, you can keep the stuff that matters and you're left with a much more focused and concise clip as a result. I don't think I did a good job with the Watch Dogs video. I squished the video a bit to fit more in, but in the future, if I'm going to do that, then I might as well use a wider aspect ratio in the first place. But then if I do that, then I'll end up with black bars above and below the video when viewed on a mobile phone, which feels like it defeats the whole point of it in the first place. I think that sticking to 9:16 is an acceptable compromise for now. The next shot I made was for 3 Clicks Philip, and I think this one went a lot better. I've seen my girlfriend browsing pretty looking cakes on Instagram, and I thought, hey, why not do this but for pretty skies in Counter-Strike? Phones tend to have vibrant, bright colours, so I think this video was a great match for that. So that's what this one was intended to be, pretty picture porn, but in a mobile phone aspect ratio. It also doubled up as a teaser for the full video that I made about it. You know the beauty of this sort of content? I can choose my own view angles. It's not like I'm trying to adapt gameplay footage for a new aspect ratio. I'm free to choose a viewpoint that works well for each intended platform, and that's exactly what I did here. I made 2 shorts for this video. One of them in 9:16 and another in 16:9. The images they show are similar. If you view one, then you don't need to view the other, but they each use slightly different perspectives to look the best they can on each aspect ratio. It's this that lets me justify the 2 different videos here. Again, both videos have received similar amounts of views, with the desktop version being slightly more popular. But hey, 18,000 people have still viewed it on a mobile phone, and I know that they saw the best version of it that they could have done on that device. I added end screens to these videos to lure people into watching the full video, but unfortunately YouTube Shorts doesn't seem to support this just yet. I really hope that support is added, but I fear that YouTube won't want to add this, as it will disincentivize people from flicking onto the next short instead. And this brings me to my final short experiment. Odd Grub. This is the best content that I've ever made, by far. I'm super proud of it, and I want nothing more than for more people to see it. But at 40 minutes long, it puts a lot of viewers off. And it's sad that so many good moments will never be seen because people can't dedicate 40 minutes to a single YouTube video. So why not extract some of the self-contained stories and release them as standalone shorts? I've chosen 3 parts that I think all Skyrim players in general can relate to, even if they don't care about Odd Grub. I've got one of the player annoying the Greybeards, I've got the mission where you've got to capture a dragon, and I've got one showing the perspective of the player's follower. These are all titled in a way that makes them unrelated to Odd Grub. They work as standalone videos, but all end with a picture informing viewers that they're part of a bigger video. For all of these, I have hand-tweaked the video and audio. I was smart enough when I made the original video to save all of the audio tracks separately, which really helped me to edit it down to better suit the short's content. For the Lydia video, the challenge was getting it down to under a minute, and some of the narration had to be removed or altered. For the Greybeards one, I removed the narration almost entirely, since it's not needed for the context of this video. And the Dragon one forced me to sacrifice parts of the screen in order to maintain that aspect ratio. All in all, I'm pleased with the results and hope that viewers will enjoy them. This plan of mine will crash and burn if end screens are never supported, but my hope is that these 3 standalone videos will act as feelers, drawing fans of Skyrim in and informing them that there is a full video if they want more. Whether they can be bothered to click a button and turn their phone 90 degrees to view the full thing, however, remains to be seen. I'm essentially using YouTube Shorts as a trailer for my bigger content, which in my opinion makes complete sense, and YouTube would be stupid to disincentivize this sort of behaviour. But I could be wrong about all this. Maybe Shorts are the new main content, and the era of longer videos and channel loyalty is dying out. So yeah, don't dismiss the YouTube Shorts feature. YouTube needs to do something about how it notifies people about them, because I'm already annoying people when I release 3 versions of the same video. But I think the YouTube Shorts format is a lot more flexible than people may think it is. And for the time being, I'm going to continue using it as and when I think it benefits my content to do so.